Hi friends, a very pleasant good evening and welcome to Oliveboard. I hope all of you are doing well. A very pleasant good evening and welcome to Oliveboard. I really hope you can see me properly, you can hear me properly. Good evening Anjali. Good evening. I can see Anjali there, Anish there in the chat section. I hope you can hear me properly. My voice is audible to you guys. Hi Niranjan. Good evening. I hope all of you are doing great today because this particular session is going to be an eye-opener in terms of how one needs to prepare for RBI Grade B 2023. So are you all ready to be a part of this particular session wherein we'll be discussing in detail as to how one needs to prepare for RBI Grade B 2023 examination. Hi Yash, good evening. Hi Pawan, good evening. I'm really glad all of you took time on a Friday 8 p.m. time slot. It's really great. Hi Ravi Shankar. Hi. How are you doing? Okay, so we do have a very good question. Is RBI Grade B syllabus similar to IBPS SBO? We will see that as part of today's class. Don't worry. Hi Manu. Good evening. I hope you're doing well. Hi Piyushi. Good evening. Can you all hear me properly? Is everything okay? A quick thumbs up in the chat would really help me. We'll start the session in a minute. Let everybody join in. And I want all of you to sit back, have a great session today because we'll be seeing in detail as to what needs to be done in today's session. Plus, it's going to be an eye-opener in terms of what do you do to prepare for RBI Grade B 2023 examination. Right? Okay. So we'll just do one more thing. After a minute, we'll quickly start today's session. Okay. Hi Sampriti. Good evening. Okay. Thank you so much for the heads up. Everything is working fine. Hi Atul. Okay. So many thumbs up out there. Thank you so much for that. Fine. So let's just start today's session without further ado. Okay, and the first thing is I would really want you guys to understand one thing, that we are in a lot of anticipation as to when the notification is going to be out. Okay, so we keep thinking every day, we are confused as to when will the notification be out. Fine. So don't worry about it. The notification is expected in the month of March and we are expecting the phase 1 examination to be held in the month of May. Okay. Now, if you ask me, is this time sufficient for us to prepare for RBI Grade B 2023? My answer would be yes, but with the right strategy. Now, if you're not following the right strategy, obviously you're putting in too many number of hours for your preparation, but you're not able to get the desired result. Okay. So in today's session, the prime motive for us is to understand how one needs to prepare in the right direction with the right set of resources. Okay. So first thing, let me just start. Okay. What is the agenda of today's session? Okay. The first thing that we're going to understand is, let us have a look at the timeline. Okay, so the timeline is going to be very, very important for us because we need to know how many number of days do we have in our hands. Okay, so if we don't know how many number of days do we have, it's really going to be a problem for us. Okay, the next thing that we're going to be looking at is the pattern. Okay, now you would ask me, why are we going to have a look at the pattern? But honestly, if you don't know the pattern properly, it's not going to be helpful for you. Okay, the next thing is pre-work. Okay, what do we need to do before even we start our preparation? This is going to take 1 day of our time. Okay, and we'll be able to do the preparation in an efficient manner. The next thing is understanding the scheme of the examination. Now, this is the key. Okay, how to approach phase 1 is going to be the next point. After that, we're going to see how to approach phase 2. And the last one is going to be the study plan. Now, the study plan that you see here is going to be of the prime most importance for us because study plan will give you a very broad understanding as to how you need to divide your weeks in terms of preparation. Okay, so we will see the study plan in detail and this is going to be the key for your RBI Grade B 2023 preparation. Okay, fine. This is the timeline. All of you can just have a look at this particular chart that we have brought out for you. Okay. First thing is, understand we are on this date, 10th March 2023, right? Now let us take a scenario wherein we are starting the preparation just today. Okay, I'm just giving you a very broad perspective as to don't get confused. You might be a first timer, okay, don't worry about that. We are starting the preparation today, which is 10th of March 2023. Clear? Okay. The next thing is, let us take the notification to be out on say 25th of March. Now these are tentative dates. We do have an understanding that the notification is going to be out in the month of March. So let's take 25th of March as our date here. The next thing is, let us take first week of May, we have our phase 1 examination. Okay, and the phase 2 examination, let us take the understanding it's going to be in the second week of June. Okay, so this is how your timeline runs, and you can very clearly see the number of days that we have. 15 days until the notification, okay, going by the dates that we have in our hands right now. 40 days between your notification and your phase 1 examination, and 35 days between your phase 1 and the phase 2 examination. Okay, so let's not be bothered about these days. We are going to be focusing here. Okay, let me just show you one other thing to make it simple for you. Okay, so what we are going to be doing is, this is 10th of March 2023. We are on this particular date today, right? And we have nearly 55 days of preparation in our hands. Okay, so we have 55 days, so don't worry about it. We'll take 7 weeks approx, and now we'll be having a look at a detailed study plan, which is going to focus keeping in mind these 7 weeks with us. Okay, I'll show you how that is going to be. Okay, before that, one important pointer that all of you need to keep in your mind. Till your notification is released, I want all of you to focus on phase 1 and phase 2 parallelly. Yes, you heard me right. There's a lot of confusion among the students, and I've seen the students having this notion that, okay, let's just go behind phase 2 completely or phase 1 completely. The time that we are in, right, it's important that till the notification is out, we are doing a parallel preparation for both phase 1 and phase 2. You will ask me how. I'll tell you that also. We'll answer that particular portion. Okay. The next thing is, once the notification is released, okay, we need to tweak our plan a bit. Now, for those of you who have already appeared for RBI Grade B examination in the past, I would say take 1 more week to prepare parallelly for phase 1 and phase 2, right? And the subsequent weeks you can focus only on phase 1, because we need to clear the qualifying paper for us to be able to give phase 2 examination, right? But for those who are new to RBI Grade B, preparing for the first time, giving the paper for the first time, I would highly recommend that you start preparing for phase 1 exclusively once the notification is out. Okay, so what we are planning here is 2 weeks here until the notification is out, parallel preparation phase 1 and phase 2. After that, we have week 3 to week 7 here. Okay, so we have nearly 5 weeks here for us to prepare only for phase 1 for those who are new to the examination, and a week less for those who have given RBI Grade B exam already, right? Okay, so can you give me a quick thumbs up in the chat section if you are clear with this particular point here? I would appreciate a quick thumbs up in the chat section if you are able to understand these 2 pointers, because once you put out a strategy, it is very, very important you know what you need to do in the next few weeks. Okay, thank you Niranjan for that thumbs up there. Okay, maybe a couple of more would help me to understand. Thank you Guna, thank you Sricharan. Okay, thank you Sonali for that thumbs up. Ram Kumar, thank you Pawan. Fine, let's just move to the next section here. Right now, I'm going to very quickly show you only the study plan, but I'll come back to this slide again. I'll come back to this section, but I'm just showing how the study plan is going to look like. Okay, see, friends, honestly, let me tell you, exam is aceable, When students come and ask me, we have our mentorship batch also wherein we give one-on-one mentorship to the students. So when they ask us, is it possible for us to clear RBI Grade B? The honest reply for this particular question is, if you have the proper strategy with you, if you know what to read, what to leave, okay, when to read, if you have answers to these questions, even a good 2 to 3 months, okay, even a good 2 months is going to do you well. Right? But if you keep studying without knowing what needs to be done, then I'm afraid the answer is going to be in a negative form. Okay, so here in this session, we will give you the right understanding of what you need to do in the next few weeks. So even if you are starting today, my answer would be, yes, you can clear, but please understand the strategy. Okay, please know what needs to be done, right? So as I told you, I'm not going to be discussing this right at this moment because we cannot directly jump on to the study plan. We need to see a couple of more important pointers for us to understand. Okay, but I'm just showing you how the study plan is going to look like. After 15 minutes, we'll come back to the study plan. Okay, so this is week 3. This is week 4. Okay, we have listed elaborately what needs to be done. So don't worry, we will go through each and every component given in the study plan. Okay, week 5, week 6 and week 7, right? So this is the study plan that we are eyeing at. Okay, before that, all of you please give full attention here for the next 15 minutes wherein we'll quickly have a look at the important pointers with respect to phase 1, phase 2, simultaneous preparation and etc. Okay, after that we will go back to the study plan, have a quick look at each week's agenda, right? Okay. Phase 1, pattern, fine. Now you would ask me, what is so new about this pattern? Everybody who's interested in RBI Grade B would definitely have seen this pattern. But see this pattern from the point of view of clearing the examination, not just for the namesake, right? So the one thing here is your general awareness, please concentrate here. Okay? Now, I just now got a question from one of the students in the audience, how similar is RBI Grade B pattern with the IBPS or SBI PO pattern? See, the one thing is you will have to concentrate more on general awareness. If you want to clear RBI Grade B, this section that you see here is going to be your key. Okay, and also as we move forward with the session, I'm going to show you how you can manage to clear prelims examination with the help of GS section plus one other section from reasoning, English, quantitative aptitude. Okay, fine. I'm not going to spend much time here. We will come back to this. Okay, phase 2, again, let's not elaborate here, but just understand one thing. We have a mix of objective and descriptive, right? But current affairs play a very major role. We will discuss how we need to prepare current affairs and how you can do it parallelly for your phase 1 and phase 2 of RBI Grade B 2023. Okay, for those who are eyeing RBI Grade B for the first time, let me tell you 3 papers, paper 1, paper 2, paper 3. This paper completely descriptive. Okay, we call it descriptive English, right? This paper, ESI and FM here, is divided into 2 categories. One is your objective type and the other is your descriptive type. Okay. Now, let's not get into detail here. One small pointer. The descriptive answers that you are supposed to write are not at all tough. Now, why am I bringing out that point to you here? I've seen many students who have started to fear RBI Grade B thinking that we have descriptive answer writing, right? And we don't have the habit of writing descriptive answers. So let me tell you, at the end, I'm just going to show you few examples, say 3-4 questions that were asked in the previous year. When you see those questions, you will automatically understand that you don't need to have very in-depth understanding about a particular topic. The only thing that you need to ace is the art of answer writing, okay, which is pretty much doable with minimum practice, with focus and concentration, right? And the other thing is your basics should be strong, which obviously you can do by reading certain chapters here. Okay, I hope you're able to, get the pointers that I'm trying to convey. So you will have to write 4 descriptive answers in ESI and you'll have to write 4 descriptive answers in FM, finance and management, right? This particular syllabus or pattern, might look a little daunting, but don't worry about it. When you break it down, when you see the previous year questions, when you see the cutoffs, you will definitely understand that it is not something which is not achievable. Okay, so we have 2 15-marker questions and 2 10-marker questions. For now, again, I would say don't go in depth with this. Just understand a broader overview about the pattern for phase 2. Okay. The next thing is the interview stage. Okay, so let me tell you about the interview stage. We do have a change. Initially, it used to be 50 marks interview, but now the interview is for 75 marks. Okay, so it is an advantage because you get a window to score more marks in interview, and your phase 2 marks and the interview marks are going to be calculated together for your merit list. Okay, fine. Before that, just 2 important pointers that you need to do before even starting to prepare. One is definitely you need to know the previous year papers. All my students, there's a humble request. It just takes 5 minutes to go through the previous year papers. Okay, when I say 5 minutes, I'm not expecting you to go and solve the paper, but like just reading some story or just having a glance of the kind of questions that were asked in the previous year. Because if you don't know that, while studying, you will not know what pointers you need to check or keep in mind or what you can omit. Okay, so that is where the selective method of study comes in. Fine. So where do you find the previous year paper? So if you see here, there is a tab which is called past year papers. It's completely free, so don't worry, anybody can go and access this particular tab. Okay, and all the tests here are in the form of, all the past year papers are in the form of test here. So you can just go and see, don't solve them like a test, but at least have a look at those questions. Okay, and the second thing that I would want you to do is understand, go through the syllabus at least twice, just know the topics overall. You should have an understanding of the exam that you're going to appear for. Okay, so please don't do this mistake of just knowing phase 1 pattern, not knowing the syllabus of phase 2. At least have an idea about the phase 2 syllabus. Okay, apart from that, the one important point is understanding the requirement of the examination. Okay, so this is a very major component of today's session. So I want all of you to give your full concentration when I talk about the requirement of the examination. Okay, we'll be going in depth with this particular slide that you see here. Okay, so I want all of you to pay attention. Fine. Okay, let's just understand the requirement of the exam. Phase 1. You know phase 1 is qualifying in nature, no doubt in that. I think this point is pretty clear with us. Okay, so it is qualifying in nature. General awareness is the key. Why is this the key? Because out of 200 marks, 80 marks out and out comes from the GA section. So definitely this is going to be the key for us for acing the phase 1 of RBI Grade B exam. Okay, the trick is what you need to do, apart from general awareness section, you can go for selecting one other section from quant, reasoning and English and make it your strength. So there are going to be 2 sections which are going to be helpful for you. One is GA, which is mandatory for everybody who's going out and giving the examination, and the other section can be of your choice, your comfort, your strength. Okay, so those 2 sections are going to help you to push the prelims cutoff. Okay, and the other 2 sections you need to be safe enough to just clear the sectional cutoff, because for prelims you do have sectional cutoffs, so you cannot make the mistake of doing very well overall and missing out on a particular section. So that's not what you can do. Fine. So I hope the first point is clear, right? Your GA is going to be the key. It's not optional. Everybody should go for this GA section. With the GA section, you choose one section which is of your comfort. Okay, so that's how you need to proceed with your preparation. Now, the other thing is phase 2. 3 papers as I told you, but the paper 1, ESI paper, this is completely current affairs heavy. Okay, when I say current affairs heavy, 85 to 90% of the questions that you see in the paper are going to be from current affairs for ESI. Okay, for that you just need to know some basic chapters which will give you an understanding of the topics. okay, and you'll be able to read the current affairs effectively, and this is what will help you to clear ESI, right? In one of the years, more number of questions were from government schemes out and out, okay? So if you're new to this examination, you might think economics and social issues, okay, so it's going to be really technical. Students use that word a lot, right? But that's a complete misconception. It requires you to prepare current affairs to clear ESI paper. Now, one other pointer you guys need to note in this particular scenario, when you talk about current affairs, fine, we need to prepare current affairs in such a way that you're doing it for both phase 1 and phase 2. We will talk about the current affairs preparation in a bit, fine. The next thing is paper 2, descriptive English. Concentrate more on practice. How to structure your answer should be your concentration here. What to write, automatically you're reading ESI, you're reading finance and management, so don't worry about it, fine. The paper 3 here, equal importance being given to finance and management. Now this pointer, okay, most of you, when you talk about the finance and management paper, FM paper, I've seen that the immediate reaction is, I'm very weak in finance. I haven't heard about finance. I don't know. I haven't studied finance. Let me tell you one thing very clearly. Out of the 100 marks which this paper is for, it is 50-50. 50 finance, 50 management. It never used to be this case, obviously, but over the previous years, they have brought it to an equal level. And when you talk about finance and management, management is completely static. You do it once, it's done forever. At least, you just need to revise it before the examination. So management is done, right? In finance, we used to get a lot of numericals in the previous years. Right now, the trend in the last 3-4 years is 3 years at least is such that you're not getting questions on numericals. You're being tested on public finance, okay? And specifically current affairs related finance questions. So don't worry, that is again doable. So I keep repeating my point. You need to know what needs to be studied. If you know this particular answer to this particular question, RBI grade B, yes, doable. Okay, fine. The next thing is descriptive questions. I think this is a point which I mentioned before as well, that I've seen many students coming forward and showing a discomfort in descriptive questions. Don't worry, this is an advantage for you. Okay, trust me, once you start practicing, you will be able to agree with me completely that the change in the pattern which we have seen is actually a very big advantage for us, because the kind of questions that they ask, they're not very tough. They are doable if you have studied the basics, if you have studied the current affairs. Okay, so you will be able to attempt those questions. Fine. And obviously the last stage is interview stage. Fine, you can see here. And the interview stage, when we talk about it, the questions that are going to be is current events, understanding and opinions. You have profile based and work profile. Okay, so let's not talk about the interview stage yet. We'll just restrict ourselves specifically to the first 2 rows that you can see here. Okay, fine. Now, how to approach phase 1, right? So this is very important again. So till now, please give me a thumbs up. How is the session? Right? Are you guys still with full energy? Is it too much to take for you on the very first day of strategy session? Or are you able to understand? Are you able to get a brief about what is required for us to study for RBI grade B? I would want to see a few thumbs up in the chat section, which would help me understand that the students are getting my point there. Okay, thank you Manu, Niranjan, Sricharan, Rahul, Pawan. Thank you. I think all of you are giving me confidence that you guys are understanding the pointers here, because it's very important that you understand. Okay, the notification is expected in March. Okay, thank you. I think there's some gentleman there. Thank you, gentlemen. I think that's really good there. Fine. Okay, so let's move on. Let's understand how one needs to approach phase 1. I want all of you to pay attention here. We need to go through this particular section point by point. Okay, I want all of you to give your attention here. Okay, fine. Let me show you the cutoff which was there, previous year cutoff. Okay, why are we seeing this? Don't worry about it. I just want you to have an understanding about the kind of marks that were given last year. Okay, so this is 2022 paper, and you can very clearly see out of 200, it is 63.75. Very easy to infer the paper was difficult. Okay, so if the paper is difficult, automatically the cutoff drops down. I think this happens with most of the other exams as well, right? But it's important for us to realize this. The other thing is, if you see the sectional cutoff, okay, why I'm showing you the sectional cutoff? Fine. Many students are, let me give you an example. You might not be good in quantitative aptitude, okay, and you're very worried that my quantitative aptitude is not good, but I want to clear RBI grade B. So will that be a hindrance for me? The answer is no. You need to know how to work your way around this particular situation, because the sectional cutoff can be cleared with smart work. You don't need hard work to clear the sectional cutoff. You need hard work so that you can push your overall score, the prelim score, which is the GA and one of the other sections, as I told you in the starting. That can be English, that can be quant, that can be reasoning. Though I would advise you to pick one between English and reasoning. Okay, because quantitative aptitude is a little unpredictable section when it comes to RBI grade B examination. Right? So, okay, coming back to the point, just have a look once here. I don't infer anything right now. Just at least know about the sectional cutoff. Okay, you can see here quantitative aptitude 4.50 was a sectional cutoff. Okay, so out of 30 marks, scoring 4.50 is doable even if you're not good in quantitative aptitude. Okay, fine. Let's move on now. This is 2021 cutoff, right? It was 66.75. So you can very easily infer that the difficulty level that we are talking about was very much similar to the 2022 examination. Okay, and again see the sectional cutoff. See here, out of 30 it is just 6. Okay, and I'll show you how to get these 6 marks. How to get this 4.5 mark that you saw here. Okay, here you saw 4.50. You ask me how will I get this mark? I'll show you how you can get these 4.5 if you're not good in quantitative aptitude. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it. It's all about selection of the questions. It's all about doing the right kind of preparation, doing it at the right time. Okay, and that's why this particular session today. Fine. Now, this is a quick look at the previous year cutoffs that we have had. Okay, if you see the total cutoff, which is here, you can see 122 also was a cutoff once, phase 1 here, see. This particular point in 2019, the paper was super easy. And that is why the cutoff stands to be 122 out of 200. Okay, so don't worry about it. I'm just showing you how diverse is this, because in 2018 it was 105.75. In 2017 it was 78. Right, so you can see there's a lot of changes here in the cutoff. Okay, the range varies a lot. So don't worry, if the paper is tough, automatically the cutoff would be dropping. Okay, now can you see this particular slide? This is very important for you to infer. Okay, again, the fear in the students, fine, ki I'll not be able to clear quantitative aptitude sectional, I'll not be able to clear reasoning sectional, my English is not good. I've heard this also, and that's fair enough. You know, you might have that fear. I haven't cleared other banking exams, what do I do? Don't worry, you just need to know how to work, find a way out here. Just have a look at the sectional cutoffs here. Okay, from 2015 to 2022, this is a list of the sectional cutoff. So let's go to the quantitative aptitude section. The maximum the quantitative aptitude section saw the cutoff rise is 7.5. And it will not go above 8.5. Don't worry about it, even if the paper is going to be easy. Okay, so again my point, if you work smartly, scoring 7.5 out of 30 is doable, right? Coming to reasoning part, 9 to 15. The lowest has been 9 and the highest has been 15. I'm just taking the general category range here. You can have a look at the other category range as well. Okay. If you talk about English, the lowest has been 4, the highest has been 7.5. Now, if you're not very strong in English, if you're not comfortable in English, right? So you have your answer. Scoring 7.5 out of 30 is not going to be tough. We have reading comprehension. That will do your job easy. Okay. The next thing, general awareness. I'm not going to ask you to have a look at this. Why? Because I don't want you to just clear the sectional cutoff. If you're someone who's just clearing the sectional cutoff, sorry, you'll not be able to clear RBI Grade B Phase 1. Okay, we need to move past the sectional cutoff for general awareness for us to be able to push our overall prelim score. Right? So all of you are in understanding of this particular sectional cutoff area. I want a thumbs up in the chat section, guys, because this is important. If you're not able to understand this, you will not be able to strategize your preparation. You will still feel that I'm not good in a particular section and I'll not be able to clear the exam. So I want a quick yes or no in the chat section, guys, please, because this is important. I'm not going to move forward unless and until I'm confident that you guys know this particular bit here. Okay, I do see a couple of yes there in the chat section. Okay, please feel free, just put down your yes there. Okay, great. I can see students understanding this because this is going to be a very important part for us. Okay, let me proceed. I think you all have understood this, right? Let's move forward. This we have mentioned ample number of times. GA section is the key, okay? Revision is the key. Let's not repeat ourselves again. Let's move to the next section. Now, quant, reasoning, English, simple answer practice. Simple answer practice, you have been doing it for the other exams, okay? So don't worry about it. Let's go a little deeper here, okay? So obviously we have this RBI Bolt, which we have released only for RBI Phase 1. This is going to be a very important source for you to help you crack the GA section of RBI Grade B exam, okay? But let me just show you other thing which I'm looking for here. Fine. Let's talk about quant, reasoning, English quickly, okay? Let's break this code because this is something which everybody is, very hesitant. What needs to be done? What are the topics that we need to study? Okay. Now, one disclaimer here, whatever strategy I'm trying to put out here today is for those students who are, say, a little uncomfortable with quant, reasoning, English. Let me put it that way. Okay, so you're not very confident with quantitative aptitude. You are someone who can practice a bit and still, do a decent job there. Okay, so I'm not taking those students who are very, very comfortable with these three sections because then you don't need a particular or a directed strategy out here. Okay, talking about quantitative aptitude, you can see there are three categories here. Okay, now these three categories, first category, if you see, you have DI based questions. Data interpretation questions every year they ask. The pattern is such that we are again inferring this from the previous year papers that there has been a mention of 2 DI every year. One DI is calculation based, okay, which is doable, a lot of calculation involved, and the second DI is arithmetic based. Okay, now let me take a scenario wherein you're not very comfortable with arithmetic, okay, and your calculation is not good. I'm taking all the worst case scenarios so that I can show you a path. How do you get marks in quantitative aptitude? Okay, so here what you can do is, in this calculation based DI, you can attempt at least 3 questions, say, out of the 5 questions. Let's assume you're calculating and it is taking a lot of time for you. You're not able to solve all the questions, but if you focus, okay, you can at least solve 3 questions in the calculation based DI. Okay, so let's assume that. Coming to category 2, okay, arithmetic. Usually a mix of all the chapters would give us 10 marks here in this particular category, which is our second category. Okay, now in this category, you can go in for choosing easy topics. Okay, if you're not comfortable in all the arithmetic topics, just go for topics like percentage, profit and loss, SICI, average, ratio and proportion, ages. Okay, with the help of this, you will be able to land somewhere between 3 and 4 marks. Okay, so are you guys with me? Here what you have scored? You have scored, say, 3 marks. Okay, and I'm taking here higher side, say 4 marks. right? Let's move to the third category. Now, obviously every year there is a slight change in the kind of questions that we are expecting. But if you move to the third category, you get a lot of questions like on number series, missing and wrong number. You get on quadratic equations, okay? You get quantity comparison, data sufficiency. There can be miscellaneous type of questions, okay? Now, with practice, with decent practice, with some kind of understanding of these type of questions, you'll be able to at least get some 2 marks. Okay, so now let's add 3 plus 4 plus 2. I hope my maths is fine. It's 9 here. Okay, so 3 plus 4 plus 2, it is 9. When you add all the 3 categories, okay, now tell me, you have got 9 here. Let's quickly take you back. Do you see this particular chart here? Okay. What is the maximum cutoff that we have seen? The sectional cutoff, it's 7.5. What did I tell you? Even if the paper is a little easier, we can expect something around 9. Okay, something around 9 here. Okay. And what have we got here? We have got 9 here. Right? This is how you need to plan. Okay? Never skip RBI grade B because you're not good in quantitative aptitude, because you're not good in reasoning, you're not good in English. Okay? GA doable. We'll tell you what needs to be done. You just need to concentrate 3-4 months and GA is doable. Okay? Again, we'll tell you what are the important topics there. Right? Okay. Let's move on to reasoning. Okay, here again, one pointer. If you are somebody who's very comfortable in puzzles, who's very comfortable in critical reasoning, then don't worry about reasoning at all. Okay, I think that's the easiest route for you. You can take that route and you'll be able to score well. Let's come to a scenario wherein you're not comfortable with puzzles. You're not comfortable with critical reasoning, okay? Or a scenario where you're not comfortable with puzzles, but you're kind of comfortable with critical reasoning, okay? So how do we try to get the marks that are required out of us, right? So one thing here is you have this as a category, puzzle, okay? The next thing as a category that you have is critical reasoning, okay? Many type of questions here. I'm placing input output separately because the difficulty level has been high in the last 2-3 years, okay? This I am clubbing together as one category. You can see here, which includes Syllabus, which includes direction sense, coding, decoding, okay, inequality, blood relations. So we will club this together. That's puzzles and seating arrangements. You usually get 5 puzzles. Okay, and when you compare the puzzles with each other, there's going to be one puzzle which is doable when you compare it with the other 4. So if you're somebody who's medium level a student, I can say, for puzzles, then you can aim for that one particular puzzle for sure. Okay, but let's take a worst case scenario. You're very uncomfortable with puzzles. Okay, so what we will do is say 5 puzzles, 25 to 30 marks out of 60. 60 marks is your reasoning paper. Reasoning section is 60, right? Half puzzle gone, fine. You still have remaining 30 questions, 25 to 30. Okay, sorry, 30 to 35. Now, if you're comfortable in critical reasoning, you can get some 4 marks out of these 8 to 10 marks. Okay, you can get marks from Syllabus, direction sense, coding, decoding, inequality, and blood relations. Okay, so if you understand the scheme of examination, what I'm trying to say is go back and analyze which is your strength. Okay, if you analyze which is your strength, again scoring marks in reasoning is going to be aceable. Okay, for reasoning, I would say somewhere between 15 to 20. Okay, if you're very good in English and GA, then you can aim for this, right? If you're not good in English and GA, then at least aim for, sorry, I'm saying the other way around, right? So if you're very comfortable in English, then I would say you can drop a little in reasoning. Okay, if you're not comfortable in English, then you'll have to push yourself in reasoning so that at least you can touch their 20-21. Okay, now tell me friends, out of 60, getting a 20-21, it's not going to be a tough job if you know the right selection of questions. Okay, now let me take you back quickly before I move to the English section. See here, you can see reasoning, max it has been 15, okay, but we want to aim here at least 21 or 22 for us to be safe. And if you are not very confident in the, other sections, somewhere we need to comfort ourselves in reasoning, right? So don't worry about the sectional cutoff. That's what I'm trying to say, that you'll have to concentrate, do smart work here, okay? Okay, coming to English, simple. I think easiest of all sections is English when you compare the difficulty level, okay? There is reading comprehension, right? And usually 8 to 10 marks of reading comprehension based questions are there, fairly doable, okay? If you have 8 to 10, and even if you're someone who's struggling with this particular section, okay, you can still aim for a decent 4. It's not going to be that easy for us to touch 4 there, okay? You have error detection, you have parajumbles. This particular section, do it only when you're confident, okay? Then you have fillers, clause test. This is a little easier compared to the other topics here. You might get matched the following of different types. There is no fixed pattern in this particular scenario. Then you have miscellaneous type of questions, okay? So English, again, I would say just keep solving what you know. Too much of grammar understanding is not required. Okay, if you're someone who is having a little bit of difficulty, don't think that this is going to be a roadblock for you. Aim for reading comprehension, aim for clause test, okay, your job will be done. And if you're someone who's comfortable, then hit highest in English. If 30 is something, aim for 25, aim for 23, okay. Don't leave a chance in scoring well if this is your comfort zone, okay, because this will definitely help you boost your overall score that is required to clear the prelims. Fine, okay. Now, the very important part, current affairs, okay. We'll deal with this current affairs parallelly for phase 1 and phase 2, right. So, all of you, are you still there with me? Is the energy still there in you? I do understand it's a good 40 minutes that we have done, okay. So, a quick thumbs up in the chat section or a quick yes in the chat section would be appreciable. I hope you guys are having that energy to stay back with me for the rest of the session. I'll make it as quick as possible, don't worry. After this general awareness section, phase 2 quickly and then the study plan. So 3 important pointers left. Thank you for those yeses because I am taking more of your time on a Friday evening here. Okay, thank you guys, thank you. I want you guys to be awake. Okay, so that we can really make the most out of this particular session today. Fine, let's proceed to the general awareness section. Okay, fine, quickly. Incorrect approach, correct approach, right? Whenever you do something, be it any section for a competitive examination, always there is a strategy that you follow. Okay, and based on what the students have been doing over the previous years, because we have trained many students for RBI, Nabard, SEBI examination, we do understand the kind of approach that they proceed with. Okay, so based on that understanding, there's a very incorrect approach which says, I'm preparing for other competitive exams, so my preparations for current affairs is done. Okay, I would say if you're preparing for other exams, it is an advantage. Why it is an advantage? Because obviously there are going to be repetitions, there are going to be certain topics that are going to be repeated here, it's going to be helpful for you. But at the same time, okay, you need to prepare for RBI with specific focus. Okay, there are many things that you don't do for other exams when you talk about current affairs. So that is where your strategy comes into action. That is where your streamlined preparation is going to help you clear RBI Grade B. When you guys see 80 questions that are asked in phase 1 of RBI Grade B, it is not a joke. And you can do it at the same time if you know what to study. If you are repeatedly just going ahead and doing current affairs daily without knowing what is required for RBI Grade B, then you realize in the paper that I have read this somewhere but I'm not able to solve it. That is going to happen. That's quite natural with the students. Okay, so that's what we're going to understand, that where do we lack, okay, or what should be done, right? Okay, Points to follow. See, phase 1 current affairs, 3 to 4 months more than sufficient. Okay, I'm not saying if you do 3 and 4 months, you can answer all the 80 questions. How many marks do we need in the GA section? Okay, anybody who clears RBI Grade B phase 1 should do a decent job in GA, good job in GA in fact, not decent. So let's have a target of 50 to 55 out of 80. Doable. Yes, doable. Okay, so 50 to 55 out of 80 is something that we are looking for in the general awareness section. So if you do the last 3-4 months properly, even if there are a couple of questions that are asked from the previous months, it's okay. We don't need to hit 80 on 80. Okay, we just need 50 to 55. You have a good buffer of 30 if you're aiming for 50. So do you realize you can skip 30 questions? Right? So whenever you get daunted by the fact that, I'll have to get more marks, just see the other side of the story. You can miss 30 questions. You can miss 25 questions. Right? So it's okay if you don't know a few things. Right? Okay. The other thing here is for phase 2, it's preferable to do last 8 months. So if I'm saying 8 months, 4 months preparation is simultaneous for phase 1 and phase 2. The last 4 months or the less priority months for phase 1, more focus on phase 2. We'll have a look at it separately. Don't worry if you did not get my point here. Okay. The last sentence that I've mentioned here. Okay. I see most of you read a news. Okay. The main part that you miss is depth of coverage. This is something which is very, very important. Okay, there are many students who do study current affairs. They actually cover a lot of news. Okay, and they are doing in and out preparation day and night. But one thing that they forget is they might not be doing the right depth of coverage that is required. Now that is where the problem arises. Okay, if you don't know till what level you need to go for your preparation, then that's a concern for everybody. Okay, so what level they might ask, you should know. How would you know? Go and check the previous year papers. Okay, so if there's a news article, you cannot just read the headline and move ahead. Okay, I know this particular news, I'll be able to handle it. No, that's not how it works. You have heard about that news now, they'll go and ask, say, layer 3 or layer 4 information. Then how are you going to answer that? Okay, so that is what depth of coverage is all about. Okay, fine. Now, as we discussed about quant, we discussed about reasoning, we discussed about English. Okay, the other thing that you guys need to know is when you talk about these 80 questions which are asked for your general awareness, 4 to 5 marks generally come from economic survey union budget. Okay, now understand this point. When you're doing economic survey and union budget, do it in such a way that it's going to be helpful for phase 2 also. Because remember, if you have attended the session from the start, in phase 2, ESI paper, right, economics and social issues paper, 85 to 90% is what? Current affairs. Right, so when I say current affairs, it also includes union budget and economic survey. Okay, we have FM paper, finance and management. You remember we said management is completely static, but finance involves current affairs. Right, so again that also involves few of the important pointers given in economic survey and union budget. So that is how your linking should be done. Okay, the next thing is nearly 30 questions are such that they're going to be phase 1 specific for us. Appointments, sports, trophies, okay, so Nobel Prize winners, right, all these kind of questions which would be asked only in phase 1. So it can also be 25. I've just rounded off to 30. Okay, now this one is covered in RBI Bolt. So in case you're using our RBI Bolt for preparation, this 30 marks is going to be covered here completely, because we have all one-liner based, we have all kind of areas covered which are specific to phase 1. Okay, current affairs has multiple areas. Few areas are specific to phase 1. The other areas are common for phase 1 and phase 2 preparation. So when you see this particular line here, phase 2 based current affairs like questions on reports and indices, government schemes. Okay, so these are segments from where questions can be asked in both phase 1 and phase 2. So if you're studying a government scheme, then obviously you would be able to answer that in phase 1 and phase 2. If you're studying reports and indices based material or news article, the questions are going to be there in phase 1 and phase 2, right? So all those kind of questions you can expect around 30, okay? And the last 15 questions around are static GK based. This can be banking based questions, okay, the static ones. They can be, say, parks and sanctuaries and etc. But here also there is one point. The static based questions that they ask are usually linked to the current affairs that's happening at that point of time. Let me give you an example. If a particular dignitary goes to visit a foreign country, okay, what happens is they might ask you the currency of that particular country which was in news. Okay, so when you're reading RBI Bolt, don't worry, we have done a coverage wherein all the static piece is also covered along with the current affairs bit. Okay, so this is how usually the things are asked. Fine. Okay, so now let's move on. Yeah, one other thing is we'll also be having one other module specifically put out for this. That's going to be released as the notification is out. So don't worry, for those who are a part, you will soon be able to see a new section which will be covering the static GK based. Okay, so we'll have public finance, we'll have banking based, the general kind of static based questions that can be asked. Okay, fine. Now, quickly revising what we just discussed a few minutes back. If you talk about phase 1 preparation, what did I tell you? 3 to 4 months prime importance. Please understand this, because in 5 to 10 minutes we are going to the last segment, which is the study plan. Okay, that is why we are having this session. So when I'm walking you through the study plan, which will take me 5 minutes, these pointers will help you to understand the study plan better. Otherwise, you will be confused. Okay, so I want you guys to focus here. Fine. So when you talk about phase 1 preparation, as I told you, last 3 to 2 months is going to be of prime importance for us. Okay, so we are assuming, obviously we know it's going to be there in May, the phase 1 examination of RBI Grade B. So you need to cover Jan, Feb, March and April thoroughly. Then we will just check December 2022. This is the first priority after you are done with Jan, Feb, March, April. Okay, and then if you have time, if you have already covered these things and you're sitting, say, thinking that I have time, okay, so then you can move on to November. Okay, but as I told you, we are not aiming for 80 out of 80, right? We are aiming for how much? 50, 55, right? Doable. You don't know a few questions from November, it's fine, leave it. You have a choice of leaving questions there, right? We are not aiming for 80 on 80 there, right? See the other side. Fine. Phase 2, I already told you, at least 8 months. Let's start from October to be on the safer side. Okay. This point, let me not try to infer it here, but just keep in mind that reports and indices, when you're referring, try to make sure you refer it from July. Only the reports and scheme bit. Okay, so this is 1 point. 3 points here, 3 important ones we have already discussed, but here we are having specific months mentioned. Okay. Now, when you talk about general awareness or current affairs, please don't stop yourselves thinking it's just the daily news. There are other things as well, as I told you: economic survey, union budget, government scheme, census, RBI notification and RBI FAQs, which is there in as part of your current affairs tab. Don't worry if you have already been a part of us, okay? And there are other important reports, if any. So I think this is something which we know, but we do miss out on a few things when we talk about current affairs. Okay? Yes, PIB. Thank you so much for one query that I can see here in the chat section. PIB. PIB is covered here. Okay, and all the news capsules or the monthly capsules that we do, extensive research has been done on PIB news articles. So don't worry, when we say monthly current affairs coverage, even if we talk about Bolt, we have PIB covered in that. Okay, so don't worry about PIB coverage, it's already there as part of your monthly capsules. PIB is important. When I say daily current affairs, it includes PIB, it includes few articles, say from Live Mint, okay, few articles, say from The Hindu, okay. So this is how the sources are. These are the sources for daily news, right? And those are covered in the monthly current affairs capsules that we provide, right? Okay. I'm not going to be taking much time here. Okay, after this session, we will also have a look at if we can provide this material to you. Okay, so these are those topics, the ones that are marked in red are specific to phase 1. Remember static GK, 30 questions specific to phase 1, all these things are here. The ones that are in black, okay, usually we see, for example, if you talk about schemes, campaigns, portals, you can get these questions in phase 1 GA as well as in phase 2 ESI paper or the finance and management paper. Okay, that's how it is. Now this is specific to phase 1, all the topics here, all these topics that you see, specific to phase 1. Okay, you will not have questions on currency in phase 2. Okay, so these are not going to be there in phase 2. So just a list compilation here. Okay, don't worry much about it. Fine. The last before segment, before we move on to discuss the study plan, the 7-week plan that we have laid out. Okay, very quickly, not going into depth here, just understand this thing. I'm not going to be discussing this here. Okay. Subjects in phase 2, very clearly. I'm just going to stop at this slide, okay, and then take you to the study plan. But here just understand one pointer. We have ESI, right? Economics and social issues has static part, has current affairs part. Clear? Okay. Finance has static part, has current affairs part. Clear? ESI paper, 85 to 90% is what? Current affairs. We have said that ample number of times, right? Okay. Finance again has static and current affairs. The same thing applies here. Even in finance, the questions are based on current affairs, right? Okay. Management section, completely static, right? We have mentioned this as well. Management is completely static. Descriptive English, right? What are you doing here is there are 2 aspects to descriptive English. How to write, what to write. How to write, structuring of the answers. What to write is the content, okay? Don't worry about what to write because you're already studying for ESI, you're already studying for finance, and in that you're already studying current affairs. You have a lot of stuff. Trust me, many pointers are there in your head just sitting like that. How to structure that is what you need to concentrate when you talk about descriptive English paper. Okay, this practice is the key and it will be taken care of. You just need good 3 to 4 hours of understanding to know how to write, coupled with the practice. So if you're someone who is very skeptical about descriptive English, don't worry, we'll take care of it. You just need to practice and you need to attend a session wherein we'll just tell you how, the how part, the structuring part, that's all, the rules basically. Okay, fine. I'm not going to be taking these things here. Okay, now let me take you to the current affairs bit here. Okay, let's move to study plan. Okay, let's move to study plan now. Okay, the last segment that we are going to be dealing with is the study plan, right? Now, before we spend last 5 minutes of our lecture in dealing with study plan, I want a quick thumbs up in the chat section. Okay, you guys are awake with me. You have that energy still left in you because we're going to be seeing the last segment, which is nothing but the study plan, right? A very good thumbs up, a very quick thumbs up in the chat section. Yeah, I can see Guna there. Okay. Innocent, nice name there. Yeah, meditation, Ram Kumar. I would want a few more thumbs ups there in the chat section because we are nearing 9 p.m. Okay, and I'll take 5 minutes of yours, but I want to see if you're there for those 5 minutes because it's the last segment, the study plan. Fine. Let's go to the last segment now. Okay, can you see this? Fine. Okay. The thing here with the study plan is, let's move on to, let's move on to the week 1 bit here. What you need to do for week 1, okay? Remember when we started off, we were very clear about one thing, and which is the pointer with us, that before the notification, we have 2 weeks in our hands. So what we are going to do is we are going to do parallel preparation for phase 1 and phase 2. Right? Once the notification is out, for those students who have already given RBI grade B, what you will do is you will still continue with your phase 1 plus phase 2 preparation. For those students, okay, who are giving RBI for the first time, once the notification is out, I want all of you to start preparing for phase 1. But there is a trick there, don't worry, when you're preparing for phase 1, your focus in current affairs is going to be simultaneous, so you will unknowingly be preparing for phase 2 as well. So that's going to be taken care of, okay, fine. Week 1, right, what you will do, concentration on both phase 1 and phase 2, this is clear. Start with Feb current affairs. We are in March, right? Feb is doable. Now, a very important point. Let me take the example of a student who hasn't started the preparation yet, okay? You haven't missed anything. We are still on track, but you will have to follow the strategy, please. I'm requesting, don't waste your time, don't waste your energy without knowing what one needs to study for the examination. Please, that's a request because I've seen students wasting their time, right? Okay, so here you will start with Feb. When you're starting with Feb, what you will do, you will have focus on both phase 1 and phase 2. When I say focus on phase 1, what you will do, you will read RBI Bolt. Because this is designed in such a way that we cover all the important news that is required for phase 1 in RBI Bolt, right? And you have monthly capsules here. Okay, this is designed in such a way, it's going to have questions which are going to be helpful, the material which is going to be helpful for phase 1 as well as phase 2, right? And you will also be reading government schemes. This is week 1. When I say week 1, I mean you need to start from tomorrow, right? Because remember when we were discussing the timeline, I am taking everything from scratch. We are thinking that today is the first or the 0 day for us to start our preparation, right? So from tomorrow, this is what you need to start, okay? And before that, you need to check the past year papers, the syllabus, right? Okay, the other thing, phase 2, you need to finish the management component or at least start doing the management component if you're someone who is starting from 0. Okay, this is very, very important for us. Practice at least 4 descriptive answers. When I say practice at least 4 descriptive answers, we have free questions that are there on our portal, okay? You have an exam interface there. It is exactly how you get questions in your RBI grade B exam. You have a list of 100 free questions for your descriptive answer writing. I request you to go have a look at it, choose 4 management based descriptive questions, go and answer them. If you're new to descriptive answer writing, you have hesitation, don't worry, go and write them. Okay, why I'm saying this now you would not understand, but once you start studying, once you start proceeding further, there are a lot of questions that would get answered for you automatically. Okay, fine. Now let's and very important, phase 1 practice. When I say phase 1 practice, you will have to go back to what we discussed. We discussed important topics for quantitative aptitude. We discussed important topics for reasoning. We have discussed how to crack English as well. So if you're someone who's very uncomfortable with quantitative aptitude, you know what needs to be done. Remember, we picked 9 marks for us. We had 3 categories that were given. DI category was there, right? We had miscellaneous category in which you have quadratic equations, you have number series, you have a category which is of arithmetic questions, right? So remember how we categorized the areas and we were confident that we will hit 9 marks there. Okay, so based on that, analyze your strength, analyze your weakness, okay, and then practice. Fine. This is your week 1. All of us are clear with week 1? I want a quick thumbs up. We have less time here. We need to complete it in the next 5 minutes, right? A quick thumbs up in the chat section. Week 1 is clear. Shall I move forward, friends? Okay, so can I move forward? Yeah, okay, I do see a couple of thumbs up there. Week 2, okay, so we are still in week 2, which is in March only, before the notification. And now what we are assuming, okay, now what we are thinking here is, we'll have to prepare simultaneously for phase 1 and phase 2, right? So now what you will do is, you will continue your focus on Feb. Okay, we started off with Feb 2023. You will continue your focus on Feb and government schemes, keeping in mind your need for preparation for phase 1 and phase 2. Why? Because we also have the other components to cover. So we are keeping a balance here, right? So when I say components in ESI, just do these 4 chapters here. Don't worry about other things. We'll take care of it. We're going to do current affairs. We also have time between phase 1 and phase 2. I'm assuming all of you will clear. Okay. So we have time between phase 1 and phase 2, right? So don't worry. Complete these 4 chapters. We need your basics to be there for you to understand the current affairs, right? And for you to be able to answer a few concept-based questions which can be asked in phase 1 as well, right? And the other thing is finance here. Okay. These are some of the topics. Try doing these topics. Don't think I need to complete the entire finance section. Don't do that. Complete these things. And along with that, phase 1 practice. Okay. You might be thinking it's a week. It is a week. Put up a plan. Now again, this plan is not, I would say it's not for everybody. You can do selective from this particular plan. You can just choose which is right for you. You might have completed, say, finance section completely or management section completely if you have already started your preparation. So tweak this particular plan. I'm putting this out for those who are completely new and they feel lost and they don't know how to pick. Okay, so that is where this particular plan would be 100%, can be 100% replicated. For others, I would request you to keep, altering this based on your requirements. Fine. Okay, so week 2 is done. Let's move on to week 3. Okay, now we are assuming notification is out. We are entering week 3 here. Okay, week 3, there's a differentiation. If you have, again repeating, cleared RBI, not cleared, at least attempted RBI before, okay, then what you will have to do is continue with simultaneous preparation. If you haven't, then obviously just jump to phase 1 preparation. Okay, so now you will be doing March and Jan. But our focus is still going to be both for phase 1 and phase 2 when I talk about current affairs. Remember this point, friends. When we were having a look at current affairs, okay, I'll take you to that slide because it's important. Yeah, this particular slide, okay, here understand one thing. There are going to be at least 30 questions which are based on current affairs which can be asked like phase 2 based topics. Can you see this? Because if you don't touch phase 2 current affairs, you will not be able to clear phase 1 GA. Okay, so that is why when I say keep your focus simultaneous, prepare March 2023 for both phase 1 and phase 2. Okay, because the questions can be of the phase 2 level in the phase 1 GA. Okay, this might sound a little tricky. I hope you are able to understand what I'm just trying to say here. Okay, so we are back at week 3. So that's how you're going to do this. You're still going to continue government schemes, but we will introduce RBI notifications and FAQs. Don't worry, it's all the important RBI notifications and FAQs from the website have been filtered and covered in the current affairs tab. Don't worry. Okay, you can just go and have a look at only those, because in the RBI website you have all possible RBI notifications, but not everything is important for us at all. Okay, so in a particular notification also everything is not important. We just need to know how to be very selective there in the reading, right? Okay, week 4 here. Week 4, again we are doing March and Jan continue for us. I'm giving you two weeks if you see, for 2 months here. Complete focus can be given. You just need to have a little bit of patience, understand this timetable here or the study pattern and be able to do it. Okay. But here if you see on the other side, okay, for those again who have already appeared for RBI, complete all the chapters which are left, along with that practice phase 1, right? Otherwise, please practice only phase 1 here. The same thing here. It's not very different. Okay, so this is how your week 3 and week 4 would look like. Week 5, 6, 7, the last 3 weeks for us, right? Again, revision of Jan, Feb, March, you will be doing in week 5. So now if you ask me, is the time enough? Yes, the time is enough. You have already completed Feb, you have already completed Jan, you have completed March. Now in week 5, which falls in April, you are revising those 3 months, right? And you know what to study, what to leave right now. So you know the level of your preparation is very good. You're sitting and revising that for a week. Along with that, what you're doing is you are doing December. If you haven't studied December, I would request you to invest few hours here, okay, to study December. As I told you, we don't need 80 on 80. We can still take the leverage of missing out on 30 questions, okay, or 25 questions at least. So let's assume a few questions are coming from December. It's okay, but at least we will spend a few hours there, invest a few hours there, so that we can pick few questions from this month if they are there in the paper. Okay, and for those who have already completed December, there can be a few students obviously, so I would recommend then have a look at November. Okay, otherwise don't. Right? Static GK bit, union budget, important reports, economic survey. Okay, and the static GK bit, don't worry. You will have a module which we'll be providing, because static GK is also very diverse. You have banking related and you have other kind of area, so that we will take care of it, not now, a little bit closer to the notification, or sorry, after the notification. Okay, so otherwise when you were attending this session, we did see a list of topics. So have a look at that list of topics and prepare that for static GK. Okay, last, week 7. Right now, this is a crucial week again. You might think week 7 is going to be very short, but very crucial. You might make major mistakes here of overdoing stuff. I don't want you guys to overdo. We'll be meeting for a couple of more sessions. So I'll walk you through important pointers that you need to keep in mind while studying also. So don't worry about that bit. Okay. Here again, only revision. Spend more time in studying March and April. Okay, and only revision is what we are going to look at. Okay, so this is how things are going to be for us. Now let me just, it's all done. Okay, there's one thing which, this is what we provide for our RBI Grade B preparation. We have a learn pack as well as we have complete plan. We also have mentorship program running wherein you can enroll. I'll be your super mentor, and we have mentors who are going to be tagged to you. And every alternate week, you will be having a session with them. You will be given a customized plan, and there are separate mentorship tests as well. Okay. And there is this one thing that I would like to highlight. We have a separate Telegram channel for regulatory exams in specific, which includes RBI Grade B, Nabard, SEBI, even IFSCA for that matter. And we are providing daily highlights. We have a news of the day every day put in there. We have question of the day. We have mind map given to you, which will help you in phase 1 preparation. top 10 MCQs for the day every night at 9 p.m. and you also have PDFs of live session, right? All the important announcements. So if you want to prepare for RBI Grade B Nabard SEBI, I would request you to join this Telegram channel. The link is there in the description box, okay? And you can join and make the most out of this daily material that we give. The other thing is we also have specific YouTube channel for regulatory body exams. So we are already running series of past year papers, government schemes, phase 1 questions, and I will also be taking many other sessions on the regulatory exam channel, the YT channel that we have. So the link for that is again in the description box, right? So anything, any kind of information that you need, you will get there on that particular YT session. It's Oliveboard's regulatory YT session, YT channel, and our Telegram channel as well, right? So this is how the entire scheme looks like. If you really thought that the session was useful, guys, please do like the particular session. And till then, I would say any important doubts there, please let me know. I've taken a lot of time. It's 1 hour 15 minutes. I hope you guys actually benefited from this session. Any feedback is highly appreciated, and thank you so much for taking time out. It was a lovely session wherein I could see a few of you from the start till the end. So thank you so much. Thank you, Niranjan. Thank you so much. Okay, I see one of my students saying he's a big fan. Okay, thank you so much, gentlemen. That's a huge appreciation actually. Thank you. Thank you, Innocent. Thank you, Guna. Thank you, Pawan. It's been a while since I've interacted with you guys. I think it's really been a while. So I'm really happy to be back. I'm really happy to interact with you guys again. And don't worry, I'll be back. I'll be coming very frequently starting from the coming week to help you guys with the various sections, with the strategy part, with a few concepts. So don't worry, we'll take care of it. Thank you, Innocent, for following the regulatory body channel here. Thank you, Ram Kumar. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining till the end, because it was a very lengthy session. Okay, anything else, friends? Anything else you want me to answer for you? Don't worry, we'll have a couple of more sessions. We have a couple of more sessions lined up. Thank you, Nagendra. Most welcome. Okay, for the syllabus for IFSCA, it is a mix of SEBI and RBI syllabus. One of our students, they have a query, IFSCA syllabus, it's a mix of RBI and SEBI. Okay. Any other doubts, please? Anything else you would want me to clear? Innocent, yes, you can score good marks in QRE, but as I told you, please go through this session. And please understand your strength, your weakness. That's very important. Okay, if you don't know where you are, in what are the topics that you have your comfort in, it's not going to be easier for you to put out a strategy. Okay, fine, guys. So I think I'll take it a wrap here because it's really been longer. Okay, so Nagendra is asking, is he eligible for RBI Grade B? Nagendra, can you do one thing, please? Can you just drop in your details? I will take care of it. It's going to be riti.gulati@oliveboard.in. Drop in your queries there, guys. I'll take care of it. riti.gulati@oliveboard.in. Drop your queries there. I'll see if I can just quickly give you a reply. Okay. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you. I'm taking your leave right now, and we'll quickly be meeting in the subsequent weeks as well. Don't worry. Couple of other sessions planned. So please subscribe to the Telegram channel as well as the YouTube channel so that you're intimated whenever we are coming live with the particular session. Thank you so much.